falling back. It's the paranoia kicking in again.
Yeah.
So I trust you did hear me at the back, so I won't use the mic. Fire. Tied to the Thames on board the Queen Mary, some of us were standing on the edge. Shirt sleeves and blouses, everyone merry and way past that really awkward stage when all you have to talk about is work. I still take the mick, even now. Look, look, that's you, wide-eyed, at the river. The water's on fire. We all laughed. It was night. The fire was caused by the lights from the buildings on the bank at Westminster. You look like you're witnessing a miracle, I said later, taking a last glug of wine and kissing you for the first time. That poem's almost true. I was actually drinking lager, but lager doesn't rhyme with time. That's the perils of trying to get a rhyming poem and going, lager's not working, I was drinking wine. Dracula has risen from the grave. I wondered if I'd ever feel the rush of blood and hunger, but now I'm flying out to you at night, as innocents are running for the border, animals and criminals are climbing from their cages, and villagers burn torches, spit my name. Please, invite me to your room, where I can be as close to you as shadows are on skin, in the curtain dark and candlelight. Yes, there's a danger, and if your heart is hit, you may fall, but don't cancel the curse with a prayer. Why waste our days staring into mirrors? I forgot when I was doing my intro about like famous people that I've actually got 2 Elvis poems, so I shouldn't have left him out from that intro. So here's the first Elvis poem. It mentions a place called Lansky's, which was the clothes shop where Elvis used to buy all his early gear from. And it's called 1954. When she went with him last week in a service truck on Beale Street, she thought he'd be the kind of boy she'd never want to keep, with his street corner skin, his head out of the window, bellowing the blues with the old men on the sidewalk, his fingernails as filthy as their feet. But up on stage tonight, he's rose oil and Vaseline. He's been given the key to the Hepburst floor at Lansky's, with his red pants and green jacket, his pink socks and shirt, his shoes as white as the dress she wears on Sundays. As soon as he hits the first string, she can hear herself calling his name. She's shaking when his lip curls to a smile. When he sings, she's gone, man, real gone. And when he grinds, so slow, like he's got a thing for his guitar, she swears she'll pray so hard in church tomorrow. So this is the other Elvis poem, and August the 16th was when Elvis died. Elsie. On August 16th each year, she wears an Elvis wig in the shower. For her 80th, she had an Elvis Presley tattoo on her bum. She has Elvis mugs, coasters, slippers, tea towels, wallpaper, and pens. She has hamsters called Memphis and Mississippi, and a cat called King. Elsie talks about Elvis Presley night and day. She's had 5 husbands. She divorced the first when he shaved off his sideburns and grew a moustache. If she'd had a child, she would have called it Elvis or Lisa Marie. Elvis was so young when she was in her 20s, now everyone is. Elsie likes to dance, but she can't gyrate her hips now that they're plastic. Elsie doesn't talk to Ethel because Ethel prefers Cliff Richard. The doctor doesn't like it when she calls this place the Heartbreak Hotel. She's taken uppers and downers just like Elvis, but she's still alive. Elsie wants to die sitting on the toilet, burger in her mouth. She's not religious. If there is a God, she hopes he looks like Elvis. Elsie has never caught a rabbit, but she is a good friend of mine. I was lucky enough to be in a project where I live in Walthamstow, where local artists' work was something that we would write poems to. So, we randomly had to pick these things from an envelope. So I picked what turned out to be a photograph by an artist, a photographer called Mark Sowden, and he likes to go around photographing sort of objects in the street that he sort of catches eye, unusual objects. So this, when I first saw it, was just basically a carpet and a drain pipe. I had no idea what I was going to make of it or write about, but I kind of thought it looked like a car. So for the sake of this poem, it does look like a car. This is what it's like. So this artist here has composed a car from unassociated pavement scrap, a folded carpet moulded as a seat no one heavier than air can sit on, and a piece of drain pipe for the pedals, useless if it ever needs to start, dangerous if it ever needs to stop. Nowhere for a key, no engine and no chassis. As a car, this car is not worth your respect. Passers-by will knock it over, and from the markings on the street, we know that pigeons aim to shit on it. This is what it's like when you're the one that doesn't fit, out of work or sick, with no one there for comfort. Like a car made from broken components, incapable of movement, stuck on the street to be shat on and kicked. So I just about got away with that one. And I did that same story when we were doing the exhibition, and I said I have no idea what it was meant to be, and the artist was stood in front of me going, yeah, it could be a car. The wake. Saw just now a picture in the paper someone has thrown on the floor in the square. They've given her a different name, a daughter, and a mother who's only 44. If asked to put an age on her, I'd have stabbed at 50 something or other. First time I thought, I've clocked her in colour. Here's to the offie, the boozer and the bar. She would show me the stars, the Big Dipper, Cassiopeia, would go on about how constant they are, etc. Here's to the moon and the sun and the cider. She would cry a lot, had a great big scar on her shoulder, a black-eyed bruise under her breast. Let me run a finger slowly over one and once the other. And here's to the rise and the fall of the shutters. Last night, for what feels like 36 hours, they blocked me from walking to the river and the underpass they built to keep us warm. Another drink, I may remember more. It's another Walthamstow poem. This came about because there was a report in the local paper that someone had died in a house which turned out to be at the end of our street, and it's a weekly paper, and I think it had been a week before I realised that it happened. So it's kind of startling that I had to wait till the paper came out before I knew. The house on the corner. Living in Walthamstow is not like EastEnders. I know the names of my neighbours from badly posted letters. Through their cracked back fence I see a swing, weeds growing up through the pink and white paving. my way into work and back from work, I see lives being lived on their doorstep, rushing in, rushing out of the hallway, kept from harm's way as the mother cries out from the window. I see a folded up pram on the concrete, bouquets of white lilies in winter, a scribbled black note on the window. And this one's simply called Valentine Tips for Boys. It's nowhere near Valentine's, but you know. Fellas, I wore my heart-covered boxer shorts, scissor tight, under my trousers. The morning started with flowers from Sainsbury's. A single rose is too traditional. Poetry in my handwriting. An earlier little ditty had been read at the Orient. It said, "Love you until the O's win the Premiership." I'd done the dinner with careful coordination. We're not talking pizza. The hot-lipped confetti dotting the table from me to her and round again. The candles burnt for her. The champers popped and fizzed. Starters, prosciutto and smoked salmon salad, rocket, cress, shredded radicchio, then succulent sirloin, pepper pink in the middle, crush on you, potatoes, sexy shallots, garlic, our mouths on fire with the Shiraz berry flavours. And then I made my mistake. During the mood music, the perfect formula to make her shoulders swing, opera, Mozart, La Trave, a bit of Puccini, Ella and her fellas, into each life a little rain must fall, Billy, tears in my dreams, rocks in my heart. The two of us trying to sing along a Nina, that's Nina Simone, not Nana Muscuri. It was such a bloody irony that in my sudden, drunken need for noise, I surprised her with Closer by the boys from Joy Division, dividing us, spoiling her evening. Even amaretto could no longer sweeten her. I know now it was a no-no, should have known on the night, even though it would have been okay the night before, the night after. So when we should have ended up in bed together, I was left alone, washed up with the dirty plates and coffee cups, drinking the dregs from the bottle. On the shuffle CD, Ian Curtis sang to me, and we're changing our ways, taking different roads, then love will tear us apart again. Ignoring his message, I fled the filthy dishes and scrambled up, bowed to her snoring softly sound. Just a couple quickies. Tony Benn confused me when I thought he had two careers. One, an MP, and two, going on adventures with a shopkeeper suddenly appears. And finally, the seasonal one. Old King Cole was a merry old soul. Young King Cole, an utter arsehole. Thank you very much.
Oh, fantastic couple of sets from Paul McGrane. More applause, please. Okay, so to bring our evening to a close, we welcome back Jenny Ridley.
To retune my guitars again. I need guitars that tune themselves. Oh no, I've broken a string. That's okay. We'll use the other guitar.
You've got two.
This is why it's good to have two guitars, because if your strings break, it's fine. actually quite an upbeat one, and it's one I wrote before. But I took the first 2 lines from a Shakespeare song and kind of just took it from there. And it's about a robin, so it seems a bit festive.
Robin, jolly Robin, tell me doth and thou shalt know of mine. I've flown my feet so